Have you ever felt drawn to specific places or locations in the world without knowing why? Have you ever noticed that you seem to affect the energy of rooms that you walk into, or even people that you sit next to? Almost like you're carrying this powerful vibration that seems to be an environment in and of itself that then influences other energetic environments around it. Have you ever been told that just your presence somewhere seems to light up a room or seems to be helpful in some way to that environment or the people in it? Maybe this is one way that you are sometimes praised by teachers, employers, or friends in your life. These can all be signs that you are a grid worker. In this podcast video, we are going to be diving deep into signs you are a very special and specific type of light worker known as a grid worker. That you are someone who incarnated here with a spiritual mission to strengthen and activate and positively impact the collective grid of the planet and of collective consciousness in very particular ways. But first, let me introduce myself to those of you who are new. If you are new here, then welcome. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. So, have you ever felt this deep, almost inexplicable connection to certain places on the planet? If so, let me know in the comments where you felt yourself drawn to. And did you actually visit that place, or is it still a bucket list item for you? If you did visit it, what happened when you got there? Was there a reason that you felt called to that specific place? Grid workers are a specific and very important type of light worker. And grid workers are actually often misunderstood because very often the work a grid worker does is completely automatic, and therefore it's not exactly visible in the physical realm. I'm just hearing sirens, so that's a sign of confirmation for me that this is connecting with someone in a meaningful way. The reason that being a grid worker is often misunderstood is because your work can often be not so visible in nature. Your work is energetic and it's automatic. It happens through your mere presence physically in a particular space, place, or location. There are many reasons that grid workers can be called to specific places around the world. Sometimes they can be called to visit a place where there has been some kind of pain or tragedy on a past timeline. And keep in mind, this could be hundreds of years or even thousands of years in the past, because the past and future are all existing now. And when you're a grid worker, you tend to work with many different timelines simultaneously without even realizing that you're doing it. This is also why many grid workers happen to be very curious about history, about the history of the world, maybe geology, the history of the earth itself, but also the history of humanity on the earth. It's because part of how grid workers feel drawn to different places, spaces, and locations is because their soul is sometimes pulling them there to offer some kind of healing energy to a particular space that has experienced tragedy in the past. So let's get into more signs that you could be a grid worker. Now, we've already shared one sign, which is you may have a special interest in history, again, human history or the history of the earth itself. Secondly, as we mentioned earlier, you may find yourself drawn to very specific places in a way that doesn't make any logical sense. And again, this is because your soul knows. It's almost like Those places are locked doors and you hold the keys within yourself. So you know there's something that you're meant to energetically unlock or activate in those spaces that then actually has an impact on those places indefinitely after you've been there, after you've transmitted that energy to that particular space. You literally leave a footprint that is felt by the inhabitants of that space even after you leave. A third sign that you could be a grid worker is that you tend to be someone who is very affected energetically by your environment. So for example, you could enter a room and suddenly feel chills all over your body, or suddenly feel a heaviness and a sadness, or suddenly feel very joyful and passionate and uplifted. You notice that environment is very, very important for you because yes, as a light worker, you are someone who can be affected by energies of all kinds, just like all empaths can, but it's different for you when it comes to environments. Environments play an especially huge role in affecting your energy, but this is a two-way street. When you feel yourself being really affected by environments around you, this may have been something that felt like a burden growing up because crowded places, specific physical locations, certain environments could cause you to feel inexplicably sad or heavy or overwhelmed. But in maturity, a grid worker realizes that this is a two-way street when it comes to the energy exchange, that not only are they receiving energy, but they're also transmitting energy just as powerfully as they're receiving it. It's kind of like having an open channel where, yes, you might feel at times more victimized by energy around you, more affected by energy around you. But what that also means is that in your empowered state, you can just as powerfully influence those spaces to a greater degree than people around you who may not have that same open channel. Another sign that you are a grid worker is when you do follow those impulses and travel to those specific places or locations, you are struck by synchronicities, number signs, maybe meeting specific people in random but beautiful and magical ways. It's almost like when you are traveling to these places that you feel called to, this is when you feel the most alive and the most in sync with your own soul, the most empowered. It's when your vibration feels the highest because on that unconscious level, you are aware that in traveling to those places, you are following that guidance in your soul and you're living out that part of your soul's mission by transmitting particular energetic codes in those spaces that is impacting the collective in a really monumental way. A fifth sign that you are a grid worker is that you often find yourself actually feeling more grounded and feeling more at home when you are traveling than when you are stagnant, when you're moving into these different spaces, places, and locations. Now, keep in mind that this travel doesn't always have to be long distance travel. This could even just be visiting a new grocery store, a new park, a new place near you locally. But you find that when you are in that mode of moving around, allowing yourself to be guided by your soul and called into particular places and spaces, you actually feel more comfortable in that state than when you are staying in one stagnant place for a period of time. Another sign that you could be a grid worker is you not only have a deep connection to the earth itself, but to the cosmos and to star energy. It's very likely that you also resonate with being a star seed, although that doesn't have to be the case. And you most likely have always felt this inexplicable connection to the stars, to other planets, to astrology. This is because many star seeds were sent here to also be grid workers, to work with the Earth's grid in very specific kinds of ways. And finally, the last sign that we're going to be talking about that you are a grid worker is your energy acts as kind of like this air filter for energy in environments that you enter into. You have this ability to clear spaces simply by existing in them. It's almost like you are the sage in a space. You are the energy clearing in the space. And so you will notice that after you enter into a room, the vibration of the room actually lifts. And other people will notice this as well. People may often want you around simply for this presence. So they may invite you to things because unconsciously they realize that by you being there, you actually shift the energy of that entire space in a positive way. And it can also be true that sometimes it goes deeper than even the physical environment. Your energy can clear another person's energy just by being present with them. So very often when someone is going through a hard time, you may not know the exact words to say to give them advice during that time. But those words are really irrelevant because what is really having the energy clearing impact on the other person is your presence. Your presence is the gift. Your presence is the energy clearing. Your presence is the light. Now, let's talk about how this plays out in the physical world, how to really activate and embrace your mission here on Earth as a grid worker. First of all, and maybe the most important step, is really recognizing the value of this unique and often misunderstood gift. Many people in the world operate in different ways and do not have this same mission or this same ability as you. And so while they unconsciously may want you around or value your presence, they may not be able to consciously connect the dots and realize that your presence is the value. Your presence is what is doing the energy clearing. And so because very often you are going to be encountering people and society generally who does not understand your gift or your abilities, it's essential that you yourself value those abilities, that you see the value of simply allowing yourself to exist and be present with a space, with a group of people, with, I'm hearing even a platform. For some of you, you may share your energy through a social media platform. And this is even one form of grid working because you're transmitting your energy in a specific way that is activating specific groups of people, but it's just through your mere existence, through existing in that space. So to the best of your ability as a grid worker, it's important as you embrace this gift to begin to consciously honor your intuition to the best of your ability. And of course, the ability that you have to follow that intuitive calling in the moment in real time may vary depending on your circumstances. But regardless, it's so important to value your intuition and to allow yourself to the best of your ability to really follow that calling in the ways that you can, in the ways that feel aligned for you. And again, sometimes it could be something as seemingly small as taking a different route to work, going to a new park, sitting in a new location that's even somewhere local. But you will begin to connect the dots as to those moments that you allowed your intuition to guide you into a new place and how it worked out for you, and all of the synchronicities that the universe began to send to you along the way. To assist you in your mission as a grid worker, I've actually created a specific subliminal activation that is just for grid workers. This might be my most hyper-specific subliminal on my app. It's very, very specific to you and to your mission if you're resonating with this video. I just uploaded in this subliminal prior to uploading this video. So again, it's brand new and it's in my Subliminals app, Sound and Soulful. The subliminal is called Grid Worker Activation. And this subliminal is going to help you on your journey as a grid worker to more consciously embrace these gifts, to be able to align with your purpose more fully. And it's going to help you manifest the time, the flexibility, the resources to be able to expand even more into that mission over the course of time. So this is going to be really powerful. I'm also going to include built in within this subliminal an energy clearing, because as someone who is able to clear the energy of spaces as you are, it's also important to be always clearing your own energy as well. So this will be something that you can use as a tool on a daily basis to not only help you more powerfully manifest as a grid worker and to align more with your soul's mission, but also to clear your own energy in the process of all of that. So I'm so excited to be sharing this subliminal with all of you. Subliminals are my favorite manifestation tool because I've seen more powerful results using subliminals than any other manifestation tool in my life. They've worked so much faster for me. And so many people have seen results from them as well. You can read through the reviews on the app and see that many people have been transforming their lives with these subliminals that I am creating and sharing through my app. So on this app, there are subliminals for love, relationships, money, success, confidence, really any area of your life that you can imagine. And you can read the affirmations while you are listening on the app. You can also listen to any subliminal in 10 different background sound options, and you can even create your own custom private playlists while you are listening. This is my personal favorite feature because I love listening to my subliminals playlist to really clear and magnetize my energy overnight while I'm sleeping. So again, subliminals are such a powerful tool to deeply reprogram your subconscious mind and magnetize yourself for your desires. And this grid worker activation subliminal is now available in the app as of when this video is on YouTube. And the link to download the app and create a free trial account to try it out completely free and see how it begins to powerfully shift and move things in a positive direction in your life in just a few days. The link to get the app is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. I just saw the number 1717 on the recording timer, so that feels like a perfect synchronicity to close out the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know if anything connected for you here. And of course, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And otherwise, I am wishing you an amazing day, and I will talk to you here again in the next video.